today's session is going to be around a full recap of what we talked about in February. And what I want to do is welcome you guys all to continued education events and webinars and workshops and things like that. It's something that I truly believe in because one of the things that I feel like that's going to help you is relevant information that's really around building the agency. Okay. One of the first questions that I get quite often is like, well, Paulson, I don't know when these events happen and how it happens and when I can jump in and things like that. You may feel like a lot of our educational activities and events are a bit unorganized or maybe all over the place where you're not able to jump in. So first thing I will tell you is go to gohighlevel.com/events. You'll be able to see the Zoom links and sessions typically on Mondays and Thursdays. If you're in the pro group, we also do an extra session called the SaaSpreneurs Lunch and Learn on Wednesdays. It's a bit more of a casual session. And Mondays and Thursdays, we typically focus on formal trainings and things like that. One of the things that I was doing, guys, was putting together content around a lot of the experiences that I have in building few agencies and, also seeing and observing what a lot of the agencies are doing today and bringing that to you is something that I want to do. But in March, I'm going to switch things up a little bit and we're going to bring in more guests than we have ever before. So during the weekly webinars, instead of me teaching literally everything every single time, what I'm going to do is create a platform for the weekly webinars where I bring in amazing people with experiences around certain things, whether it's technology or sales or processes or marketing or whatever else outside of the workshops. Okay, so three things that let me actually write this down so you guys can really follow through with me on this. Let me share my screen, and here's how things are gonna go. So we're gonna have events every month. Okay, so first thing that we're going to do is have weekly webinars on Mondays and Thursdays, 2 p.m. CST. The second thing that will happen that we did in February are the mid-month virtual workshops. Okay, these are those 4-day, 3-day events. Typically 4-day intensives. Okay. Then also we're getting ready to launch a monthly mastermind / event in Dallas HQ. Okay, so we're in the early process of that 3-day event. Okay, so these basically will be Monday through Thursday every week. These will be typically 15th through the 18th of every month. Okay, first week of every month. Okay, this is what I'm working on, just so you guys understand a full picture. Now, in order to get all the information, I'm also building out a centralized hub for education itself, where you guys will be able to go to, for example, gohighlevel.com/education, where all the details of all three of these types of events and education efforts are all in one place. Okay, so bear with me on that. We're about a week and a half away from building out all the automations around that. So once we have those things, you'll be a lot more organized. And give me a 1 if that's exciting for you. Give me a 1 or a couple of comments if you feel like that gives you more clarity of what's really happening every month. We'll have weekly webinars, mid-month virtual workshops, and we'll have masterminds in the beginning of the month. Okay? Now, back to February. So let's talk about things that we talked about in February, and I want to just give you guys a full recap of some of the areas that we covered. So we talked about sales momentum, and that workshop, that webinar replay is actually already in YouTube channel. So if you go there, you'll be able to watch that. And really the main theme about it that I wanted to help you understand and really build out is, the work that you do today, you're not going to see the results until a certain timeline goes by. And eventually the popcorn's going to pop. Literally, I promise you, almost every agency that I've ever started, the first 2-3 months is dead silent. Then all the activities that you did will just create an amazing momentum, and literally 3 clients in a row you'll close. And the reason why this happens is because you're developing your comfortability around the offers that you have, on top of your own comfortability around your sales process, right? So because of that, there is a lag in the sales momentum, and I've done a whole webinar around this, so I recommend you go watching that. The second webinar that we did was providing you clarity and insight to sales development, meaning putting together a beta before creating a product. Okay? One of the biggest mistakes I've seen most SaaS agencies do is go create a product that they feel like is the best particular thing for the industry, and then they will go back to the industry and the prospects and figure out if it fits their model. And typically when that happens, you're trying to box clients into an offer that's not relevant to them, or not all of it is applicable to them. It creates a lot of friction. So I recommend you guys putting together a beta before going and launching a product, and understand what that beta wants. And remember, I've shared this multiple times, you don't have to build a SaaS around lead generation. You don't have to build a SaaS around marketing. There's plenty of other areas that you can provide solutions for. You may not be able to use the SaaS mode today if you did go with other particular products, but at the end of the day, I believe in SaaS to tell you business owners need more than just lead gen as well, okay? The third webinar that we did in February was around hiring appointment setters and closers, and I also layered out the chronological order of how you should hire and where you can find these setters and closers. And I've shared my thoughts of Latin American setters versus Asian versus European, and there's all kinds of pros and cons between all those different backgrounds. And either way, I want you to take a look at it. And if you don't have enough inbound leads, there's no need to go through that whole entire system. So if you don't have at least 5 to 6 inbound leads coming in per day, more than likely you don't have enough volume that's relevant for you to have enough appointments every single day. If you got to get to a world of at least 2 demos a day with your organic before you can launch your paid ads, and I recommend you getting to that point before you bring in your first appointment setter. Then number 4, it was the workshop. That was the big thing that we did this month. And we've got tremendous amounts of feedback that are positive. And I put out a survey, I think a couple of days ago. Boy, that was quite the experience, because I appreciated a lot of the honest feedbacks in how we essentially put that event together. So moving forward, we've got a ton of areas that we can improve on, which we will focus on. So I appreciate a lot of your honest feedback. And some of those things, it's not pleasant to read, but I really do appreciate it, because it allows us to figure out what's optimized properly for the next event. So it'll only get better from here. I appreciate everything from you guys on that. And if you haven't had a chance to watch the first flight to Highticket SaaS workshop we did, you're absolutely missing out. I recommend you going through our membership portal, which I believe might be live now, where the workshop replays are, or you can go directly to the YouTube channel and watch day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. Day 1 essentially is the same as meet and greet day, so pay attention to the naming conventions. We might have screwed that up a little bit. I'm sorry, we have meet and greet day, then day one, then day two, day three. So it was a total 4 day event. So recommend you watching that. And really, what Rob, Ryan, Haplin, those guys shared is the idea of going into the business, offering a $5,000-6,000 package, backing them into a lower ticket SaaS later on, and what you're doing is really bringing them revenue up front with their old leads, and reactivating their database, and then creating that trust and allowing the business relationship to really jump start off of a result, which is high ticket clients in the door. So it's an amazing event. If you ever got a chance to watch the 10K in 10 days workshop we did with Joel Kaplan, it's around the same level as that. And this upcoming month, I've got an event planned with Alex Shalinsky, and we're mapping out some of the things that we're going to deliver for you guys. So stay tuned for that. We're going to be doing these workshops every single month, and also the webinars as well. The fifth thing that I talked about in February was really the closer's environment during sales conversation. And really, that whole entire webinar is around the psychology of how you set up the environment for closing. And if you observed Ryan on a lot of his conversations during that workshop, you'll understand how he set up a specific environment for the conversations, and it's really around NLP and things like that. So take a look at that when you get a chance. It's going to give you a lot of new insights. So really, those 5 items were the big things in February that happened. And as we go into March, we'll have the education calendar built out, replays built out. You'll start seeing automations on reminders and things like that. So stay tuned. Let's see. This is what we have planned for March, guys, which is we'll do the weekly webinars with new guests. So you don't just listen to me. I'm going to bring in a lot more guests in just doing small webinars, almost like the spotlight sessions every Monday and Thursday. I also want to run a Eliza workshop if I could in March as well. There's a lot of people that ask me a ton of questions around it, so that's something that I am focused on as well. We'll also keep you in the loop for the monthly masterminds, where we would host a 3-day event in Dallas and go from there. Any questions? Let's see. I'm going to go through the comments here. Let's see. Any questions? Anything you guys want to add on? Put that down in the comments and I can go through that real quick. Did that give you a good idea of everything that happened in February? First of all, was this call helpful? That would be a good way to start. Let's see. I'm looking at the comments here, guys. I see a few people are jumping into the Zoom here. Yeah, Brent says that was a good month. Workshop was really good. Awesome. Thanks for that feedback. Cool, guys. So as we get started and really reimagine education as a full force for a lot of you to scale your agencies, I'm trying my best to keep it as organized as I possibly can. So that way there is a synchronized system and a theme around it. We're going through a ton of hiring around this department as well. So stay tuned on being a bit more structured. I'm excited for a lot of you. In March, we're going to have an event with Alex Shalinsky. We're in the early stages of mapping that out. We're going to have a workshop as well around Eliza, the product side. We'll also continue doing weekly webinars. And the weekly webinars, I'm going to start bringing in more talent that wants to share some of the things that they're doing. So if you are interested in doing something with the weekly webinars and collaborating with me, just reach out to me. And if I feel like, it's relevant content and things that other people should learn and understand, we'll set up a webinar for you. That way you can share to the community as well. Either way, guys, I appreciate all of you that jumped in and interacted with me. Keep in touch. I'm excited for March. Stay tuned. By the way, all these webinars that we did in February, it is loaded in the YouTube channel. The workshops are being loaded into the membership portal in the university area. So stay tuned for that. You'll be able to watch a lot of those replays or share it with your team members or, things like that. But either way, take care. Have a good rest of your afternoon. I'm excited to continue on. See ya.